Everything changed that cold winter evening. I was kneeling in the dimly lit chapel, my hands trembling as I held the rosary. The words of prayer echoed around me, but they didn't offer any comfort. My name is Eleanor, and I'm a 26-year-old old nun. My life wasn't always confined to these stone walls and silent vows. There was a time when I believed in love, passion, and the dreams of a world beyond devotion. 6 months ago, I stood at a crossroads that shattered everything I thought I knew about myself before taking the vows. Before that, I was a free spirit, working as a music teacher in a small town. I loved my independence and the way music could heal broken souls. My students often said I had a gift for making them feel seen. Turning even the most chaotic chords into harmony music was my escape and my purpose until I met Michael. He was everything I wasn't: bold, ambitious, and a dreamer. He had the kind of confidence that could light up a room and a smile that could melt the coldest heart. He walked into my life like a summer storm, unexpected and impossible to ignore. We met at a local cafe where I performed on weekends. He was a journalist passing through town on assignment. What started as our conversations over coffee turned into late-night talks under the stars. He had a way of making me feel alive. He made me feel like the world was brimming with possibilities I'd never considered. Michael's dreams came at a cost, though. His career demanded constant travel, and I became the anchor he struggled to carry when he left for a new job overseas. I felt abandoned, like a bird with clipped wings. The void consumed me, and I spiraled into despair, questioning my worth and purpose. One night, I went to a church to find some peace. The calm atmosphere felt like a sanctuary. The soft glow of candles, the faint scent of incense, and the sound of hymns wrapped around me like a cocoon. That night, I decided to dedicate my life to faith and find meaning in serving others. Fast forward to 6 months ago. My life in the convent was routine and predictable. It was a stark contrast to the chaos of my past. I thought I had found peace, but that illusion, everything fell apart when Michael walked into the chapel. He'd come to the convent as part of a charity project to help the homeless. When our eyes met, it felt like no time had passed. My heart started racing, my breath caught, and the vows I'd taken felt like chains tightening around me. Michael wasn't just a ghost from my past, he was a storm threatening to uproot the fragile stability I'd built. He confessed he'd made a mistake leaving me. He said he still loved me and that he'd never stopped thinking about me. He also said that I wasn't supposed to be there and that I was hiding from the world and from him. I was torn between my commitment to faith and the fact that I had strong feelings for him. The days that followed were a whirlwind of emotions. I found myself questioning everything, including my faith, my choices, and my identity. Late at night, I would sit by the window and stare at the moon, tears streaming down my face. How can I had to choose between God and the love of my life? Michael didn't make it easier. He was relentless in trying to convince me that love was a divine gift, not a sin. His words planted seeds of doubt in my heart. I began to wonder if I was hiding behind the convent walls out of fear rather than devotion. Even during prayers, his words echoed in my mind. I started noticing cracks in the walls of my faith, tiny fractures that grew with each passing day. The other nuns could tell I was uneasy, but they never pushed me for answers. One evening, Michael and I found ourselves alone in the chapel. The flickering candles cast shadows on his face, showing the intensity in his eyes. "Do you truly believe this is where you belong? You're hiding from life and love. You deserve to be free," he said, stepping closer. His words hit me hard. I felt anger, sadness, and longing all at once. "You don't understand," I replied, my voice. "I've made my choice." But that night I was still asking myself if this was really where I was meant to be. I prayed for guidance and asked God to show me the way. I had a dream that night. I was standing at the edge of a cliff. The ocean was roaring below me on one side, and Michael was standing there, his hand outstretched, offering me love and freedom. On the other side was the convent, a symbol of safety and faith. When I woke up, I knew I needed to make a choice, but I was paralyzed. I decided to take a temporary leave from the convent to reflect. It wasn't an easy decision, but the Mother Superior understood my turmoil. She said we need to lose ourselves to find our true path. During my time away, I traveled to a small coastal village where no one knew me. I spent my days walking along the beach, journaling, and praying. I also began playing the piano again, reconnecting with the part of me I had buried. Michael visited me. We sat on the sand watching the sunset. Eleanor said softly, "No matter what you choose, I'll always love you." His words brought both comfort and pain. Could I truly walk away from him forever? Or was my path destined to be one of solitude and faith? In the weeks that followed, I found myself drawn to a local church. The priest there spoke about love not as an obligation but as a calling. His words resonated deeply with me. It's not about denying your humanity. It's about embracing it fully, flaws and all. I started to see my journey differently. Love and faith aren't opposing forces. They're intertwined. Michael's presence in my life wasn't a distraction. It was a challenge to grow and understand myself more deeply. I spent hours reflecting on my choices and journaling my thoughts. The piano became my sanctuary. With each melody, I felt closer to understanding my truth. I realized that I had to choose between faith and love. Maybe I could have both. I still had doubts. Could I honor my vows to God while embracing my feelings for Michael? Was I betraying everything I had worked so hard to build? My journey taught me that love and faith are not mutually exclusive. I went back to the convent with a new perspective. I spoke to the Mother Superior and told her about my feelings and doubts. She smiled gently and said, "Faith is not about denying your. Embrace humanity. If love is calling, it's God's way of showing you your path with her blessing." I made the hardest decision of my life. I left the convent. Michael was waiting for me outside. His eyes filled with a mix of hope and apprehension when I told him about my decision. His face lit up with joy I hadn't seen in years. Our journey together wasn't easy. There were challenges, moments of doubt, and times when I questioned if I had made the right choice. It was the right choice, but every time I looked at him, I knew that love and faith could coexist. They were both gifts meant to be cherished. Michael and I started a new life together, rooted in love, respect, and faith. I still visit the church regularly, finding solace in prayer and gratitude. My journey taught me that life isn't about choosing between love and faith. It's about finding a balance that honors both. Now, when I look back, I see a woman who was lost but found herself. She found herself through the very choices that once terrified her. If my story can inspire even one person to face their fears and embrace their truth, then every tear, every struggle was worth it. If Elon's story resonated with you, please share your thoughts or similar experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more inspiring and emotional journeys like this one at Story Hub. We bring you the untold stories that touch the soul.